Welcome back. What are the barriers within people? First, there are differences in personality. Certain psychological factors in personality make it impossible or very difficult for some people to communicate. In our study of a group of males, it was found that even under the best communication circumstances, persuasion was unlikely to happen when individuals who showed certain personality traits, those who outwardly displayed hostility toward other people, or who tended to withdraw and remain aloof when less likely to be persuaded. Also hard to persuade were the males who had a low self-esteem, those who seemed shy and lacking in self-confidence. It was easiest to persuade individuals who prized group conformity and wanted very much to adapt to the social environment. There are likewise personality conflicts that affect communication. If a listener dislikes the speaker, or vice versa, little communication takes place. Both sender and receiver try harder to catch the mistakes and overstatements of the other than they try to comprehend the other's ideas. Another barrier to communication within people is in terms of delivery. Take a look at these speech situations.
I am a Filipino. In my blood runs the immortal seed of heroes, the seed that flowered down the centuries in deeds of courage and defiance. In my veins yet pulses the same hot blood that sent Lapu-Lapu to battle against.
I am a Filipino. In my blood runs the immortal seed of heroes, the seed that flowered down the centuries in deeds of courage and defiance.
In my blood runs the immortal seed of heroes, the seed that flowered down the centuries in deeds of courage and defiance. In my veins yet pulses the same hot blood that sent Lapu-Lapu to battle against the first invader of this.
I am a Filipino. In my blood runs the immortal seed of heroes, the seed that flowered.
How can those situations affect communication? Delivery is one feature to consider in the process of communication. If the message is either too loud or too soft, too rambling or too disorganized, the audience will find it difficult to pay attention. Speaking too slowly or too rapidly do irritate listeners, thereby affecting the entire communication process. The other category of barriers exists in the setting of communication situation. Let's say the room is too large, or the group is too big for the venue, or the place is not properly ventilated. Communication suffers. Too much noise or too much light interferes with efficient communication, as do too many interruptions. Let's make a recap of what we have talked about. What are the 4 barriers to communication? They are language barriers, psychological barriers or barriers within people, barriers related to delivery, and barriers in situation. Did you enjoy our first episode on speaking? I hope that you were able to gather insights into how communication operates as a process. With greater awareness of the nature of the communication, your students can more effectively do their part to bridge the so-called communication gap. We can tell our students that they have the responsibility to become as proficient as possible in communication, so that they become part of the solution and not part of the problem. As skilled communicators, they have the power to maintain and improve society. Let's summarize what we have taken up in this episode. We said that Effective communication involves process, interaction, and feedback. We also said that feedback is a very significant feature of effective communication. There are 3 types of oral communication: intrapersonal, interpersonal, and public communication. There are barriers to communication, and they are language barriers, barriers related to delivery, barriers within people, and barriers in situation. In the next episode, we shall talk about the critical sounds of English and the features of speech, such as pitch, stress, and juncture. Goodbye for now. This is Annie Navarro saying, happy teaching!